hustle confusion. Most people are confused about what hustle to start with, and we must continuously learn to confuse our hustles. In other words, to bring so much variety to the hustle that we learn many disciplines, that we learn how to make money in 100 different ways. So just like the basic term a lot of you workout heads, you know I'm talking about muscle confusion. For the chip game, we call it hustle confusion. And let me break it down for you. Most people, when they start a business or they try to make money, they try to explode vertically. It's called vertical integration. They do what's necessary. If you sell records and you start producing, if you start producing, then you start mixing. If you start mixing it, you start distribution. You keep going in one line. You try to take over one industry. You go in a straight line. But in this game, because we just want to make money, like I told you in an earlier podcast, I'm not here to be anything. I'm here to make something. And I can make anything. So you want to be one of those dudes, and it's really just a discipline you take on of being able to learn how to make money in all things, in everything. You know, there used to be a song or something where, you know, some cat, I don't know if it's Jay-Z, who said, you know, you can drop him anywhere and, you know, he'll make money there too. It don't matter, right? And that's the whole basis behind hustle confusion. You have to dig. You want to be able to create new things in new places at all times. Now remember, I'm a Compton kid, right? I'm coming straight out of California. You know what I mean? I moved to Philadelphia. Cats were eating cheesesteaks. We don't have cheesesteaks in LA, right? So when I got there, you know what I'm saying? I'm just absorbing what the cats in Philly do, what they buy, what they eat, what they want. You had to dig what I'm saying? I wasn't sitting here bringing my California thing to them. That's a mistake. When I got to Baltimore, I'm looking at the cats eating crab cakes. You understand what I mean? I'm over at Tyrone's Chicken. I'm over at Cluck You. I'm seeing what they do with what they have. And I've been doing this my whole life. So then when I go home, you have to dig, I can bring new things to life that they didn't see, or I can just explode in the angle that they got. But at all times, I'm trying to learn how to make money in a million different ways. And this is what separates most people who are what I consider to be true hustlers compared to everybody else who just I consider to run a business. Because some people will say, you know, damn, Freeman, you run a burger place. Well, why couldn't you? What made you think about importing Post-it notes? I don't know, because the shit made money. You know, Freeman, damn, I didn't know you wanted to, you know what I'm saying, open up a car dealership. Well, shit make money. Hey, Freeman, I didn't know you wanted to do taxes. Shit make money. Hey, Freeman, I didn't know you wanted to, you know what I'm saying, start a dance company, homie. The shit make money. You know what I'm saying? I am not close or locked into any hustle. They all make money. They're all worthy of my time. They're all worthy of me learning how to create something that makes money. So for this case, like I said, it's really just me playing on the words with muscle confusion. Because muscle confusion is basically when your body gets used to the same hustle, there's no gains. There's no, you know what I mean, growth anymore. Your body accommodates to a certain level and nothing comes out of it. So what do they have people doing? They have you doing interval training. They have you switching up the time periods. They have you switching up the weights you use. They have you switching up the exercises. You know what I mean? In order to have continuous growth, because your body accommodates and the hustler mind will accommodate. Once you figure out one game, young homie, you're going to think you mastered it and you're not pushing as hard as you need to. So you almost need to challenge yourself to create new hustles, to create new angles, to bring new products to life, to bring new pitches to life, to try something new. You always need to be in that mode. Part of the empire, homie, is having multiple products, not one product. We want one that sells winter, spring, summer, fall. We want one that sells for New Year's. We want one that sells for 4th of July. We want one that sells every damn day. We want to sell ice cream to this game. And if we can't sell ice cream, we want to sell coffee. And if we can't sell coffee, we want to sell batteries to the toys for your little sucker ass kids. We trying to create as many ways to make money as possible. Now the average sucker would tell you, you know, Freeman, you can't handle everything. You can't be part of everything. You can't. He's a bitch. Don't listen to him. You know what I'm saying? Many of these big empires have multiple companies, multiple things. In fact, the higher you get up, the more they seem to own, you know what I'm saying, security guard companies, and then they own, you know what I'm saying, toy manufacturers, because their hustle is to, you know, have as many things that are profitable as possible. And I'm trying to get us all there in the beginning. Because most people say, perfect your strength and don't worry about your weaknesses or fix your weaknesses. There is no weaknesses to this game. Some things make a G a day. Some things make $10 a day. But all of them make it pay, homie. And that's what we got to do every damn day. You understand what I'm saying? This is what your hustle should be. So when I use muscle confusion, it's just for you to understand that you should not be picking one lane. One of them just better than the other at this time, but the other one's going to be pretty good. You need to drop what you do because it's part of human nature. It's part of your body that wants to master something and then stick there and say, I got it covered. But part of growth and part of being a hustler to this game and really making money is you being able to drop one thing and walk over to another. You being able to say, this hustle dried up, I'm going over here selling this. This shit is coming up. It makes your brain adapt. When you see all these quick hustles I put up, and you see me putting up the hand warmers, that's because it's cold. My brain's not really thinking about, Christmas or any of that dumb shit. My brain is saying, you know what, man, it's motherfucking cold on Christmas. I always see motherfuckers shivering, and they don't have a seat, and they don't have any place to, the hands are not warm, and they can't really, carry that shit in with them. And what could I bring to the table? And then, summer come around, I adjust the game again. And if I see something cross my desk again, I adjust the game again. How's the motherfuckers making money on Alibaba? How they doing that shit? How motherfuckers setting up auctions on eBay? My brain keeps wondering. It's not confused, homie. You understand what I'm saying? It's growing new synapses, new connections in my brain that is starting to relate shit. This is how you come up with that master hustle that nobody else got. Because the more you do this exercise, homie, the more your brain starts making connections that other motherfuckers have never seen. You understand what I'm saying? You piecing together a masterpiece, homie. You piecing together the puzzle that most motherfuckers cannot see. And that only comes from you confusing the hustles. In other words, bringing variety, thinking outside the box at all time. Motherfuckers who tell you you need to think outside the box, that's usually because most motherfuckers only stay in one lane, go in one angle, and that's all they got. And they want to be famous for that shit. You know what, Freeman, I do good at clubs. I got 3 clubs. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, shit, that's cool. Keep building in that direction, homie, but that shit gonna stagnate your brain, homie. What do we got? You're gonna be one of them motherfuckers who keep coming to the club saying, how can I bring more people in? Because you're getting stuck in one hustle. Let some other motherfucker keep worrying about that. You, King David, King whoever the hell you are in this game, homie, go ahead and be king and keep conquering new lands and opening up new shops, homie. That's your hustle. We always get caught up in it because we want the first one that we win. We usually stick to that one and we stick it to the end, but that's a mistake. Because we didn't get rich off that bitch, did we? We didn't hit billions off that bitch, did we? So that's not it. You know what I'm saying? Like I talked to you maybe in the podcast before. The thing is, most motherfuckers always want to hit a home run. We just want to get on base. But sometimes we want to hit a home run. Sometimes we want to bunt. Sometimes we want to do a sacrifice fly. Sometimes we want to steal third, homie. We want to do all the shit that we can in this game. And we want to be as versatile as a player as we can in this game. Most motherfuckers do not. This is why they always get caught. Give you a good example of this. A lot of people, we've been talking about this recession since the RNG started. Their hustle was one thing. They only think about, how can I get paid more from doing the same job? Let me get this degree. Let me get this certificate. They never diversify their hustles. They never diversify their thinking. They never think, well, if this shit gonna dry up and motherfuckers, I can't go no further in this shit. What do I need to bring to the table? When I think about getting a new gig or working at, pretty much consulting gigs, I think about when I try to take them on, I think, what new shit can I learn from this shit? What new shit can I put on the paperwork to make somebody pay me even more money? What do I need to do? Who am I huddling up next to? What is the game that they're going to be trying to throw down my throat? What am I going to get used to? You understand what I'm saying? I'm always thinking about what does the hustle bring to me? What new skills, what new muscles, what new angles will come about me being part of this game? You understand what I'm saying? Because I want to be able to move in different places. When I moved to Baltimore, I was pretty much working, doing stockbroker shit. When I moved to Philly, I was in healthcare and in law. When I moved to New York, I was in international trade. Now none of those shit have nothing to do with each other. But I just thought, this shit make money, learn that shit. This shit gonna make some more money, go over here and learn that shit. At the same time, when the business started, I'm doing telemarketing or something at night. You know what I'm saying? That shit made money, helped me grow the business. I did that shit. My game has always been the same, homie. I want to make money. I don't give a fuck about any of these titles. I don't give a fuck about what anybody else is doing. I want to make money. So I want to learn as many things as I can, try as many things as I can, push as many products as I can. I don't get disappointed when one hustle doesn't work. If you've been listening to the RNG, I would say maybe 10 to 15 things I've tried has failed, and 3 of them have not. Fuck it. 3 for 18, I'm feeling pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Especially if those 3 cover the money that I put out for the 15 that failed. I mean, we got to keep moving. We got to keep trying to grow. You understand what I'm saying? It's a part of the process of what we really trying to be. Not trying to be rich like these motherfuckers. We trying to be rich and always have that Midas touch of the game. If you read the story about King Midas, whatever he touched turned to gold. Meaning whatever he put his mind to, whatever he focused on, it didn't matter what the fuck it is. If he touched women, they turned to gold. If he touched water, it turned to gold. It became a curse to his game later on, primarily because the story was, you know, trying to teach that old sucker shit that money can't buy you everything, or money is not good for you or something, because if you could touch everything and turn to gold, you would be a lonely person. Whatever, man. That's some most sucker shit to keep the slaves down. But the thing is, for us, we want to be able. See, if you look at it the right way, if you look at it from a God point of view, if everything you do improves it, you're a good person. You're doing good things. You have that touch. Everything that you touch, every person you interact with, it builds from you, learns from you, goes someplace with you. That's a good thing. Why wouldn't it be different? Why wouldn't you want to take this shit on and learn as many things as possible? Why wouldn't you want to try as many products as possible? A lot of you cats get scared and you keep waiting for that home run. We got to get to first base. Then we can go ahead and try to double back and go get some more. But the thing we have to do in every situation is confuse the hustles. Like, I think I got an email or a message on one of the comments from somebody. I don't remember who said it exactly. But it said, you know, for me, you do this and then you're trying to do this. How do you do it? Because I don't really love any one of the hustles. I'm not really trying to be the author. I'm trying to put out something that brings value to people. See, at the end of the day, what a good hustle, what a good product is that it brings value to someone. And if you keep concentrating on bringing value where you see value in something, if you can buy cars for $200 and you can sell them for $2,000, and people feel good in the neighborhood that they can get a good car at $2,000 and you made $1,800, you brought value to that cat. If you can make a great tasting hamburger that motherfuckers have never had before, you brought value to that cat. You bring value to things, and it's all over. It's a universal good, homie. It's not something that most motherfuckers, because they don't, like you said, they don't know how to think outside the box because they blockheaded motherfuckers, and they never really had an opportunity, or some of this lame shit they teach you in school, to go one way and stick to that one way and get your master's in that same shit and get this and then get this and then get certificates, and then you write it in the New England Journal of Medicine for your hustle, and you keep, that shit is stupid. See, the basis of all hustle is simple as this. We outside the grid with this shit. We sitting on the outside of the game with this shit. You dig what I'm saying? We know how to make money in unconventional ways. Most lames go that same way and they become the same dude waiting on a raise, waiting on somebody to give you a goddamn bonus for Christmas. We ain't playing that game. And as a result of that being the foundation of our game, guess what we need to do? We need to keep moving. We need to keep building. We need to keep thinking about other shit that makes money. If a motherfucker want to sell baby chihuahuas, sell it, motherfuckers. Make some money. Get 5 G's in your pocket. If you think it's summertime, it's time to sell Italian ices, sell that motherfucking shit. Push that product. If you see motherfuckers need sun visors and shit because they going to the beach this summer, get them sun visors up. You need to be a jack of all hustles, homie. Not a jack of all trades, a jack of all hustles. Because this is the way we make real money. And if one of them blows up, homie, you're going to master it anyway. What do you do with the rest of your shit? See, to me, it's the same way you look at a dude who really picks stocks. He's not really in love with the stocks. He's not really in love with the company. He's in love with the money. And that's what he should be doing. And that's what we should be doing. So if somebody comes along and says, GE's going to go up. What does GE make? None of them motherfuckers worry about it. They say, what is their profits? What is it looking like? What news came down? That's what they do every day. They don't give a fuck who's doing it. Which one is a high riser? Which one is a mover? Which one's making money? That's what we have to think. So you're going to have to confuse your hustles, homie. If you got one thing down packed, good. Be smart. Start a new one. Do one that you think is a little bit more of a challenge. Do something that you think is going to force you to learn how to do marketing, force you to learn how to get out on that street and actually learn how to pitch people, persuade people. You understand what I'm saying? Manipulate people. Get them to get their chips out of their pockets into your hands. You need to take this shit on. You dig what I'm saying? This is how you survive. This is how you adapt. This is how you grow. You dig what I'm saying? It's the same principle as muscle confusion. Same understanding that if a lame motherfucker stays in that lane forever, he will not grow. It will diminish over time because everybody gets used to your goddamn cupcakes. Now, what are you going to do different? What do you have? Your mind has already birthed a blueprint. And when I say a blueprint, once you learn how to make one restaurant, homie, all the rest of them just different food. So that game is over. Once you learn how to sell cars, homie, it don't matter what kind of car that comes into the damn car dealership, does it? Once you learn how to import products, homie, it doesn't matter what the fuck we import. We got the game down pat. So you gotta switch up. And I'm not saying drop one that works for one that doesn't. I'm saying that's step one. One part of the empire has been built. Your first hustle, that work. What is your second? What is your third? What is your 23rd, homie? The reason why I bring this up is because I think sometimes if you get caught up in that dumb shit, that straight shit, that shit that they give you straight out of elementary school all the way until you get into college, where they tell you to go in a straight line and keep getting more knowledgeable about one thing, that's stupid. And I told you before, don't bring that goddamn slave mentality education shit into your hustle. It does not work. Because the way they want you to do is to always be an employee. And what does a good owner of a business want an employee to do? He wants them to do his shit and then bring value and build it and do it more efficiently. And that shit, you don't learn nothing out of that, you dumb motherfucking slave. You're only contributing to his shit. So if we were thinking about what we need to do, guess what? Same job, same scenario, same angle. You would come in as a hustler. You would say, what does this shit give to me? How can I parlay the new skills, the new knowledge, the new angle, the new title into something better for me? Right? And if it ain't no value in it, we got to get out of it. The same as a motherfucker who gets into a car that's overpriced. It ain't no value in it for him. The same as a motherfucker who think that pizza ain't worth the money. It's no value in it. We need to think the same way. You got to confuse your hustles. You got to bring variety to it. This shit, and when you see me write all these quick hustles, it's because my brain is thinking all over the place, all of the time. You understand what I'm saying? It's always thinking of new ways to do something. And I don't sit down and really think about it. I just always look for the opportunity to make money. And I don't put down anything. You understand what I'm saying? I don't condescend. I don't talk down anything. I think about it. Man, that motherfucker making money doing that shit. I gotta figure that shit out. You know, I put it down in a notebook, homie. You know what I'm saying? You might think I'm a cop. I'm gonna flip out my notebook, write my little pen and pass to that motherfucker making money doing this shit. Do some investigation. Figure that shit out. You always gotta confuse your hustles. You always gotta do something that makes your shit unique and can give you maximized profit. Because everybody gonna catch up to the game, homie. If you open up an ice cream place and everybody makes money, you're making money. Someone's gonna come with some deep pockets, homie, and say, you know what? That motherfucker making a lot of money on Pinkberry. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Yogurtland. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and open up another one. That motherfucker making money off these Red Robin burgers. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Five Guys. They will always come. The only motherfucker they can't catch is the dude who's always adapting his hustle. You understand what I'm saying? Always bringing new shit. Always thinking of new shit. McDonald's ran McDonald's, a big ass empire. McDonald's been doing good for years. What made them buy Chipotle? Motherfuckers are saying that shit make money too. Goddamn white boy burritos and shit making money. You know what I'm saying? People got white people making burritos and shit instead of my Mexican homies. You know what I'm saying? They want some unauthentic shit for the authentic shit. You know, McDonald's went and bought Chipotle. And you see it all throughout big businesses where they will go ahead and acquire other businesses, not because they're so worried about the products, they're worried about if they're profitable. They already mastered this game. They got the hustle confused. They know in order to make money, I'm already here selling computers. Maybe I need to sell MP3 players. Maybe I need to sell desks. You know what I'm saying? Now the comment, maybe I need to sell speakers. You know what I'm saying? When Dre and Jimmy Iovine hooked up for Dre Beats, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? All that shit is different. That's Jimmy Iovine thinking, motherfuckers, we already in the music game. Why don't we give him something like a special speaker? That motherfucker had the game confused. He was ready to move on to something else. He knew that one thing is related to another, but not the way most motherfuckers see it. Because Dre and them could have been putting out Kenwood 6x9s 30 years ago into this game. They could have been giving you subwoofers. They could have co-signed any speaker dude. It was only Jimmy Iovine who saw the hustle. So to wrap all this shit up, homie, Confuse your hustle. Don't stick in one lane. We building an empire. We want 20 to 30 things that work, and we want 2 or maybe all of them to work well. And then once you got what you got after that is Procter and Gamble. What you got is an empire. What you got is Frito-Lay. You dig? Next time, partner.